In this lunchtime news broadcast, we highlight the news making waves ranging from current affairs, community stories, sports, and economic news. Here are the headlines. Windhoek ranked as the 13th most expensive city to live in Africa. S&T scandal. ACC clears Kanji Murangi blast ED. Miss Namibia 2022 distributes school supplies to children in Touadéra. I am Glenora Shipura, and this is NMH at 1. Getting into our midday news update, 7 members of the same household have been arrested last week at Olukonda village, Olukonda constituency in the Oshikoto region for allegedly tying the victim to a tree with a rope and assaulting her with a fan belt all over her body. The police said the 15-year-old victim is accused of having stolen $200 million. The suspects, age 42, 32, 27, 26, 51, and 42, and 20 respectively, are due to appear in Ondangwa Magistrates Court for violating the Child Care and Protection Act. Police spokesperson Inspector Ellen Nehale said the incident happened on Saturday, the 11th of January 2024, but was only reported on the 23rd of January 2024 when the victim started school. Visual News highlights local stories from across Namibia. Right after the break, we get into that. Stay with NMH at 1.
Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Tufani. What are you reading?
I'm reading about the Child Care and Protection Act. In this pamphlet I got from school.
What's that?
It is Namibia's main law for the children and the issues affecting them. The Act classifies here that a child is anyone under the age of 18 years. Check out some of the rights meant to protect you. For more information, contact the Children's Advocate.
For more information, contact the Children's Advocate Namibia in the Office of the Ombudsman on 061 20 73 111. Send us an SMS on 20401. SMS costs 40 cents. You can also send us a message via our Facebook page. Remember, the services of the Children's Advocate are free of charge.
Getting into our visual news, Miss Namibia 2022 Kesia sharply demonstrated a commitment to community welfare by utilizing her Honeycomb Foundation to reach out to underprivileged youth in Ochamusi's Touadéra, facilitating the distribution of essential school supplies. Jemima Dembele contributed this video.
Hello Namibia, this is Cassia Sharpley, Miss Namibia 2022, and I'm the owner and the founder of the Honeycomb Haven Foundation. It was established in 2017 and we have been visible and we've been active in the Sevende and Axterland constituency, and today we had our back to school outreach, and this outreach aims at allowing the children to understand that knowledge is power and that in education you have power and you have the ability to be the leaders of tomorrow and to be the best version of themselves, for themselves, come back to the country and to give back to the country that has birthed this great wealth of education within them. The constituency has a lot of wealth within the young people because of the potential they carry within their respective dreams and aspirations, goals, and what motivates them to be the best versions of themselves. And that is what we do at the Honeycomb Haven Foundation. Welcome to our hive.
My name is Antisina. I'm the CDC of Yokohama area in Zevendeland from the Kommersdal constituency. Vandaag het ons 20 kinders hier gehad. Baie van die kinders, meeste van hulle, of you can say the hele 20 kinders, they don't have any stationery because it's January. Many of parents are not working. Parents is not getting anything even to buy stationeries. So I'm very much happy for Ms. Sharpley to come around and dish out the stationeries to these kids. Because I think it's not just because I think there's a big smile on every face who was here, even on the parents, to say thank you, God. God has sent some angel to give the stationaries to my kids because they really don't have anything. And we really always appreciate her because she's always coming around when in the time of difficulty, she's always there to help and reach out.
What a wonderful initiative from the former Miss Namibia. Moving on, Namibian Sun leads us into the newspaper review segment on the other side of this.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Let's take a look at our daily newspapers, starting off with the Namibian Sun's front page, which reports that the Anti-Corruption Commission has seriously warned Higher Education Ministry Executive Director Dr. Alfred van Kent about the potentially corrupt habit of requesting funds amounting to $93,000 Namibian from public enterprises regulated by the ministry in order to fund Mr. Dr. Ita Kanji Murangi's trips abroad. Kanji Murangi has also been ordered to refund the ministry to the tune of $46,000 Namibian by April of this year in monies accumulated from various trips, calculated and reconciled against the days she spent on those trips. Now, her personal assistant Lungenisia Wethupani owes $23,000 Namibian, which must also be paid back by the same deadline. In the span of 3 months from May to July 2022, Van Kent wrote to 3 public enterprises requesting money to fund the minister's foreign trips. A government official from the Environment, Forestry and Tourism Ministry was arrested last Thursday for misusing a government vehicle to transport private animal feed without the necessary permits. The acting commander for the Kavango East Region, Deputy Commissioner Eino Nambahu, confirmed the arrest, which took place at 9 p.m. on the Trans-Caprivi Highway in Rondus Tuhi Ngireni informal settlement. Onto the Republicans' front page. To date, in the current rainy season, there has been no inflow into the 3 dams that supply Windhoek with water, with one of the dams being empty. No inflow has been recorded in the Omatako, Swakopmund and Von Bach dams to date. Exceptionally high temperatures since October last year also meant that water consumption in the capital was consistently above the municipality's savings target and meant that the available water supply was depleted faster than predicted. The poor rainfall in the central area of Namibia poses a serious threat to water supply in the area, which includes the capital. On the Republicans' page 2, 6 public servants who allegedly stole drought relief food at the Oshikango warehouse in the Ohangwena region appeared in court last week and have been denied bail. Their case has been postponed to the 2nd of April for further police investigations. According to Ohangwena Governor Sebastian Deitunga, the crime caused a backlog in the distribution of food within the region's constituencies. He, however, assured residents that the regional council is working around the clock to rectify the situation. Onto the Allgemeine Zeitung's front page, it leads with a new development that allow farmers to debush their farms without having producing charcoal as an only alternative. Last week, the new enterprise Acacia Composites opened its doors, and for the first time in Namibia, products such as decking boards, wall cladding, and batons are made from a mixture of wood fiber and an environmentally friendly polymer. The latter is obtained from high-quality recycled 25-liter plastic containers. The opportunity for Namibia is huge as Acacia Composites wants to export its products thus creating a channel that is not dependent on Namibian consumption only. Their biggest market is Europe, and it would seem as though these shareholders already have their target markets sorted. On its page 2, the Allgemeine Zeitung tells us more about an interview that the Namibian Petroleum Commissioner Maggie Shino granted a South African media outlet that specializes in the gas and oil industry. Shino is convinced that with the help of the Kudu gas field, Namibia can generate enough base load electricity through the production of gas, resulting in the subsequent generation of electricity. The idea is to make use of gas pipelines into Elizabeth Bay, where a so-called power barge will be anchored that can generate electricity at sea. After the break, we continue with more newspaper review.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
We continue with our newspaper review, starting off with the Namibian's front page. Namibia Football Association President Robert Shimoshili says the NFA is going to consult on how to use the $15 million that the country will get from the Brave Warriors' historic performance at the Africa Cup of Nations tournament in Côte d'Ivoire. Despite losing 3-0 to Angola in their round of 16 match on Saturday, Namibia will take home a considerably pay packet after becoming the first Namibian team in history to reach the last 16 at AFCON. On to page 3, the Anti-Corruption Commission says that Icelandic investigators and prosecutors are in Namibia to investigate the role played by their citizens in the $300 million fish rod corruption scandal. ACC Director General Paulus Noah confirmed the visit on Friday. He said the Icelandic team is assisting the Namibian government in uncovering the potential involvement of Icelandic fishing company Semregi and its implicated individuals. Onto the New Era's front page, over 300 families from Swakopmund residing in the Democratic Resettlement Community will benefit from urban which were serviced by the municipality through funds availed by the government. The municipality announced last week that 379 single residential urban will be donated to first-time homeowners in DRC, specifically those residing in extensions 27, 29, and 30. This is another significant step towards addressing housing needs in the town, with over 22,000 residents on the waiting list for homes or serviced land. Onto the New Era's page 3, Information Minister Peya Mushelenga said of the over 2 million SIM cards that are currently active in Namibia, only half of them are registered. Following an extension on the grace period earlier this year, as of today, the 26th of January 2024, we have 2,387,777 active SIM cards. Unfortunately, only 1,694,744 have been registered, which is 70.97%. I must clearly state that a grace period cannot further be extended. The date of the 31st of March 2024 is final, the minister said, urging all citizens to go and register their SIM cards as there will be no further extensions. Moving on to Market Watch, page 1. On a 12-month rolling basis, average rand in Namibia in the third quarter last year was $7,177 million, up 0.18% from the previous quarter and 4.1% higher than the third quarter of 2022. In monetary terms, Namibians on average paid $284 million more rent per month in the third quarter last year than the same 3 months in 2022. The Numbeyo Cost of Living Index this year ranked Windhoek as the 13th most expensive city to live in Africa. Stick around for this story coming up in Economic News.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Getting into our economic news, the Numbeyo Cost of Living Index this year ranked Windhoek as the 13th most expensive city to live in Africa. The 5 most expensive African cities according to the index are Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, Harare in Zimbabwe, and Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Pretoria in South Africa. African cities where the cost of living is cheaper than in Windhoek are Cairo in Egypt, Accra in Ghana, Alexandria in Egypt, Kigali in Rwanda, Nairobi in Kenya, and Lagos in Nigeria. Namibian Sun compared Windhoek with South African cities Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Cape Town on the Numbeyo Index to give an indication of the cost of living differences. The index looks at the relative cost of various categories, including rent, groceries, restaurants, and local purchasing power. According to the study, you would need at least 46,000 Namibian dollars in Johannesburg to maintain the same standard of living you can have for 41,229 Namibian dollars in Windhoek, assuming you rent accommodation. In Pretoria, you would need 44,000 Namibian dollars to maintain the same standard of life, while in Cape Town, it will cost you 50,000 Namibian dollars. The survey said rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in the Windhoek CBD cost about 6,754 Namibian dollars and about 4,753 Namibian dollars in the suburbs. In Johannesburg, it will cost 7,422 to rent a 1-bedroom in the CBD and 5,991 Namibian dollars in the suburbs, while in Pretoria it costs 7,000 and 6,000 respectively, and 12,089 Namibian dollars and 7,951 Namibian dollars respectively in Cape Town. Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.79, against the euro at 20.33, against the US dollar at 18.76. 2 Namibian dollars and 61 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the Namibia Stock Exchange, all major stocks remained unchanged, with MTC that went down at 0.10%. Overall index went up at 1.76%, while local index also went up at 0.05%. On the commodities market, gold went up while copper, platinum, and Brent crude oil went down. Brent crude oil trading at 1.19%, going for $83.13 per barrel. Authorities in South Sudan's central Equatorial State have banned the sale of a popular gin. The full report coming up after the break.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Getting into our news from Africa, authorities in South Sudan's central equatorial state have banned the sale of a popular drink after several people died after consuming the local gin. The royal gin, popularly known as Mukawe gin, is said to be addictive mostly to young people. Its consumption reportedly increased during Christmas and New Year celebrations, leading to deaths of an unspecified number of people. I have banned this red beer, royal gin called Mukawe. Nobody should sell nor drink it because it is killing many young people, Governor of Central Equatorial State Emmanuel Adil Anthony said on Sunday. The Anglican Church in the capital Juba has urged the governor to make sure the ban is enforced. The gin was nicknamed after Information Minister Michael Mukawe in 2019, who is said to be the most talkative minister in South Sudan. Last year, the minister called for the ban of the gin and demanded that the factory that produces it be closed down. Moving on, a Kenyan court on Friday ruled against the government's plan to deploy police to Haiti to lead a UN-backed multinational mission aimed at restoring peace and security in the Caribbean nation struggling with gang violence. On Friday, Judge Enoch Chacha Muaita ruled that any decision by any state organ or state officer to deploy police officers to Haiti contravenes the Constitution and the law and is therefore unconstitutional, illegal, and invalid. An order is hereby issued prohibiting deployment of police forces to Haiti or any other country, he said. Isaac Mwaura, a spokesperson for the Kenyan government, said on Friday that the decision would be contested legally. While the government respects the rule of law, we have, however, made the decision to challenge the High Court's verdict forthwith, he said in a statement. The ruling comes as the Haitian government calls for the urgent deployment of a multinational force to help its overwhelmed police battle rampant violence. Haiti, the Western Hemisphere's poorest nation, has been in turmoil for years, with armed gangs taking over parts of the country and unleashing brutal violence, with the economy and public health systems in tatters. Gang-related violence has spiked since the assassination of President Jovenel Moise almost 3 years ago. Between January and September 2023 alone, Haiti recorded 3,000 homicides and more than 1,500 kidnappings for ransom, according to the UN. After this short break, we'll be getting into our international news.
Hi, Kambaripa.
Hi, Melissa.
You look upset. Is everything okay?
A healthcare worker refused to attend to me because I visited the healthcare facility without a guardian.
Healthcare workers are not allowed to do that. This sounds like a job for your shield of survival.
Huh?
Your rights, they're your superpowers. Your shield of survival is your right to life, health, nutrition, shelter, and an adequate standard of living.
For more information, contact the Children's Advocate Namibia in the Office of the Ombudsman on 061 20 73 111. Send us an SMS on 20401. SMS costs 40 cents. You can also send us a message via our Facebook page. Remember, the services of the Children's Advocate are free of charge.
In our international news, Amnesty International says Israel must comply with the International Court of Justice ruling ordering it to do all in its power to prevent genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. In its judgment on Friday, the ICJ ordered Israel to take immediate and effective measures to enable the provision of urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance in the Gaza Strip, but stopped short of ordering a ceasefire. Amnesty International Secretary General Agnes Callamard said The Hague's decision to order provisional measures in response to South Africa's genocide case against Israel is an important step that could help protect the Palestinian people in Gaza from further suffering and irreparable harm. It sends a clear message that the world will not stand by in silence as Israel pursues a ruthless military campaign to decimate the population of the Gaza Strip and unleash death, horror, and suffering against Palestinians on an unprecedented scale. However, the ICJ decision alone cannot put an end to the atrocities and devastation Gazans are witnessing. Alarming signs of genocide in Gaza and Israel's flagrant disregard for international law highlights the urgent need for effective unified pressure on Israel to stop its onslaught against Palestinians, said Kalamard. South Africa approached the World Court seeking several orders, including for Israel to immediately suspend its Gaza offensive, to stop forced displacement, to enable humanitarian access to thousands of displaced Palestinians, and to preserve evidence. Meanwhile, several key donors countries to the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees on Saturday said they would halt their funding following accusations by Israel that several United Nations Relief and Works Agency staff were involved in Hamas's 7th October attack. After the break, we'll get into the world of sports.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
Let's get into our local sports stories, starting off with news from the Brave Warriors. Despite being eliminated from the 2023 African Cup of Nations at the last 16th stage, Brave Warriors coach Colin Benjamin remained upbeat following the historic breakthroughs his squad had achieved in the continental tournament. The Tafel Lager Brave Warriors were sent packing after losing 3-0 to neighboring Angola in an eventful match in Bouake on Saturday night. The coach said competing at AFCON was an excellent experience for his players and his team had exceeded expectations, showing that Namibia is growing as a footballing nation. In our next story, yesterday, Alex Miller took the Namibian Elite Road Cycling Championship just ahead of Dirkes Coetzee and Martin Freyer in a sprint to the finish line when the 2024 Nedbank National Road Cycling Championship was held on the new A1B9 highway south of Windhoek. The 23-year-old Miller, who focuses his attention mostly on mountain biking, in which he is currently contracted to Toyota Specialized, already has won previous Road Series title in 2019 under his belt. Miller and Coetzee, National Road Series champion in 2021 and 2022 and runner-up last year behind Tristan de Lange, registered the same time, with Freyer 45 seconds behind them. Miller said afterwards that the distance of the 122 kilometers may have been slightly on the shorter side for a national championship, but he felt strong. Namibia's Walvis-based Salt Eagles on Saturday lost their third and final match in Group C by 8 wickets against Zimbabwe at the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup in Kimberley, South Africa. While being knocked out of Super 6 contention, Namibia will still have 2 matches remaining to determine their final standing among the bottom 4. Namibia will face Scotland on Thursday at Wilmore Park in Benoni. After the short break, we'll be getting into our international sports news. Egypt crashed out of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations after being defeated by DR Congo at the San Pedro Stadium on Sunday evening. The match ended with a 1-1 scoreline after extra time and had to go to penalties, where DR Congo dramatically won the match 8-7 on penalties. After the break, we'll be getting into the news highlights. To stay with NMH at 1.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Unfortunately,